Harry's wife, how she sees the world. Now you may wonder what was going on with that silence. Had HG forgotten to speak? Had HG been distracted by something? Was it a glitch with the recording? No, it was none of those things. My silence was deliberate, because I was conveying to you part of what Harry's wife's world is. Emptiness. Silence. Many people labour under the misapprehension that a narcissist is always scheming, always plotting. The reality is, very few actually do. Most narcissists operate hand to mouth, namely, they are focused on the moment and the assertion of control in that moment, the drawing of fuel in that moment, the acquisition of character traits and, of course, residual benefits in that moment. There will be instances where the activity takes place in the moment in relation to a future gain. But there will be occasions, and those of you who've had experience of the narcissist will invariably have looked at the narcissist and thought, there's nothing going on, is there? There really is nothing behind the eyes. You'll recall that in the excellent South Park parody of Harry and Harry's wife, towards the end, Harry flipped open the head of Harry's wife and looked inside and said hello and was met with an echo. Clearly somebody had been doing their homework to understand the emptiness that exists within Harry's wife. Sometimes that emptiness shows itself because it will seem like she zones out, as if she's like C-3PO and a switch has been flicked at the back of her neck and that there's nothing actually going on. She's not there repeatedly plotting and planning and scheming the schoolgirl errors that she's repeatedly made demonstrates the nature of her style of narcissism, as I pointed out to you on many occasions before. The way that she sees the world, of course, is through a distortion field. She doesn't know that it exists, but it's there, like it is for any narcissist. That distortion field causes her to view the interactions that occur with other people in a particular way, and causes her principally to regard herself as a victim. It causes her to believe that she should be afforded special treatment. It causes her to believe that she's better than everybody else. Every interaction travels through that distortion field so that it is processed with regard to this key question. Is the relevant individual under control or are they not? Accordingly, when Harry enters the room, her narcissism ascertains, is he under control or is he not, and takes action accordingly. If she were to pick up the bracelet that was the gift from Prince Charles, that would cause him to come back onto the radar. And she would then interpret that event through the prism of her narcissism to determine, is he under control or is he not? How is he painted? Harry's wife regards herself as special, but she sees the world around her as a place that is there to do her bidding, a place that ought to be worshipping her. But she often sees it as a cruel and venal place, a place that is inhabited by hate-filled racists, a place that is frequented by individuals that have it in for her without any due justification. Her paranoia lurks each and every day there to remind her that there are people out there to get her, and she needs to be mindful of that. That there are individuals who are seeking to plot her demise, that have it in for her, that want to do her actual physical harm, that want to break up her family, that want to see her fail. Doubtless, there are many people who want to see her crash and burn, But her paranoia would create that irrespective, because it's necessary to do that as a propelling force to cause her to seek out the prime aims. There are instances where she sits there in imperious haughtiness, looking down on people, believing herself to be better than them. When she's well-fueled, she's fizzing, domineering, seeing herself as transcending all around her. But when there are repeated threats to control, when her construct has been repeatedly holed by wounding, then in those circumstances, as the fuel drops, she feels weakened, vulnerable. There is this nagging itch that she cannot scratch. There is this uncertainty that hangs around her like a damp black dog. She doesn't know what it is. She doesn't know what's causing it, but she experiences it nevertheless. She views people with suspicion. She does not trust them. She regards them as unhelpful. She interprets people, where they might even be acting with bona fides, through a prism of narcissism, to view them in a way that they are not to be trusted, that they are viewed as hate-filled, treacherous individuals. It is not a happy existence for her, always looking out on the world with a mixture of either believing that she's better than everybody else and set above and apart from them, or, then in other instances, that it is a dangerous world where people are looking to take her knees at any given moment and she has to be on her guard. She alternates between those two states and varying degrees in between. It is necessary for her to be that way to propel her to respond appropriately and accordingly. But in the circumstances, this is the way that she looks on the world. She either sees it as one that is there for the taking, that belongs to her, that is there with those forbidden fruits and riches that she can gorge upon, and then, in an instant, it can turn into a wasteland, a place where venal creatures are looking to do her harm, and she must ensure that she, as the eternal victim, is able to respond and protect herself, and she must therefore take such an appropriate action to ensure that they cannot get to her. This is the way that she sees the world, through that narcissistic lens, through that distortion field, through seeing things both black and white. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.